recording on Zoom also. And let's see. Yeah, I'm just watching if there's somebody going to join us on audio over here. And I have Facebook here, and I have Zoom over here, and I have Krishna over there. So that's why and there's Vrindavan there behind me. Okay. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaganam Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahaganam Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sya He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So what words are we going to do today?
7:38.
Wow, look at that. Somebody really came prepared to the class. Okay, so to our devotee friends who will sometime come maybe on the audio conference, but just for the sake of record, I am going to send them the link to the verse that Varshana Mataji wants us to do today. So we'll do that.
Sure, Mataji.
And we will share the screen. So let me start the gimmicks of trying to share my things. Sharing the screen. Okay, and what am I sharing? I'm going to share the desktop number 2. And here we go. If somebody can confirm, what do they see on their screens there? Do you see something nice on your screens? You don't see anything nice and good?
No, yes.
Mataji. Yes, Mataji, we can see now.
Okay, so there are many verses that are written glorifying the Srimad Bhagavatam, and there's one I'm going to recite, which is nice. And maybe at some time we'll add it to our repertoire of verses that we will honor and respect and pray to, and they will come to our memory like that, right? So this is glorifying the Srimad Bhagavatam, and it's saying, Asadhu sadhu tadain ati nich uchyuta kara hana munja kadachinman premna hit kantayos shutaha.
We cannot see, Mataji, what you are saying.
Yeah, I'm not showing that yet. I'm just doing an extra prayer today to Bhagavatam. I'm just reciting it from my memory. Right? So what it is saying is that asadhu sadhu tadain. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is going to give sadhuta, saintliness. To whom? To the asadhus, those who are unsaintly. If the unsaintly come in touch with the Srimad Bhagavatam, they will attain saintlyhood, sainthood, like that. So that's the power of Srimad Bhagavatam to convert, like that. Ati neech uchyata kara. Ati neech uchyata kara means, neech means down, falling down, low grade, right? So ati neech means too much. You're adding a intensifier before it. Ati neech, not only neech, but ati neech. Ati neech, and what does it do? Uchyata kara. What is uch? Unmute yourself.
Open.
A higher, right? At a higher. So people who are ati neech, or consciousness with this ati neech, which is very low, degraded consciousness, Srimad Bhagavatam can raise it to a higher level. And why is it able to raise it to the higher level? Because Srimad Bhagavatam is a transcendental literature. It doesn't talk about anything material, in the sense that it's not going to give you formulas and algorithms on how you can improve your material life by doing a few things here and there, by doing a few adjustments here and there, and trying to dodge the rules and regulations of material nature, how you can enjoy in this material world. Srimad Bhagavatam is not going to tell you that. Srimad Bhagavatam starts with death, which is a very real thing in this material world. And then, we'll give you more discourse, right? So, ati neech uchyata kara hana munja kadache mams premnyo hit kantayos pura. So he says that to this Srimad Bhagavatam, it is saying, hana munja kadachin mam, don't ever leave me. Hana munja. Munja means leave me, abandon me. Don't. Like, hana munja kadachin mam, never ever abandon me, Srimad Bhagavatam, who is nothing but the personality of Krishna, right? Hana munja kadachin mam, premna hrit kantayos pura. Please manifest with love in my heart. Hrit is heart, and kantayo means in my throat, like that. So that's a prayer to Srimad Bhagavatam, that, if I'm going to speak anything from Srimad Bhagavatam, then please don't abandon me. So don't let my memory fail. Please continue to inspire me from within my heart, and please come and reside in my throat. Manifest yourself. Spura means to manifest. Manifest yourself in my throat, so that we can talk and speak about Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So isn't it a nice verse, right?
Very nice, Mataji.
Very nice.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
The mood of that verse is written by Sanatan Goswamis. He was one of the 6 Goswamis, right? What's the famous prayer that we do to the 6 Goswamis? You know it, Varsh.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Mataji.
Nanda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Shiva
Okay, that's a Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
All right. How many did you count? Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya,
Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda,
Nityananda,
Sri Advaita
Srivas, Gadadhar.
Gadadhar.
Srivasadi.
Yes.
So you ran one shot of Goswamis or what?
Srivasadi. Srivasadi.
We are
Bhakta
not counting the Goswamis. We are actually counting the Panch Tattvas. So the mantra that you told me just now is the Panch Tattva mantra.
Yeah.
Right?
Vande Rupa Sanatana Laturyako? Is that the song?
Yes. Shad Goswami Ashtakam. Shad means 6 Goswamis. So there are 8 verses glorifying the Goswamis, right?
Do I get some points?
Absolutely. How many do you want? You can take as many as you want.
Oh my God, 200. I'll take 200.
You take 200, you're a satisfied soul. Yeah. Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Paro. Right? So they do Kirtan loudly of Krishna. Yeah. So more on them some other time, right? So prayers to Srimad Bhagavatam here to help us, discuss and study and talk about Srimad Bhagavatam today. And while we are talking, I also wanted to welcome the Madhavi Mataji joining us on Facebook, Dilip Bhai Patel Prabhu and Deepak Bharadwaj Prabhu, and Shraddha-devi Dasi and Sunita Sharma. Awesome. After such a long time, Shraddha Prabhu. So good to have you here in the call. I've been missing you. Okay, good. So Yeah, so what have we been reading about? Can somebody give me a quick recap, or maybe each one of you can give me one thing? Maybe that'll be better.
Hare Krishna, Ma.
All right.
Mataji, we are reading chapter 1.7, which is the son of Drona punished. So we are reading about that chapter, 7th chapter.
Very good.
Of the first canto. And in that, I'll just tell 1-2 points, Mataji, from the beginning.
Okay,
so
before you go to the next one, also please tell me, so which body part is the first canto of Krishna, right? We say Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna. So which body part is that? The first canto.
First canto is, Mataji, lotus feet of the Lord.
Yeah. Yes. 1 and 2 are the lotus feet.
1 and 2 are the lotus feet of the Lord. Yeah.
Very good. How many do you want points today? I'm giving them away.
Mataji, as per your wish.
You take as many as Preeti Radhika took.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you so much for that generosity. Yeah, so Mataji, in this chapter, Shaunak Rishi, all the sages, they were asking Suta Goswami, what did the, Ved Vyasa he did once Narada Muni, he departs after giving all the instructions to Vyasadeva. Then he narrates to the sages saying that Ved Vyasa, he goes to a place known as Samya Prash, and there in his hermitage, he, meditates on the Lord. And then he actually sees, the Supreme Personality of Godhead along with Maya Devi, which is under his full control. So if anybody wants to take over,
Yes, and what is the significance of the fact that he's saying that Maya Devi is under full control? What does that lead to? The fact that he sees Maya Devi is under full control. What is that change in his
Yeah, because Vyasadeva, he was very dejected and he was feeling very disappointed. He has not mentioned the glories of the Lord. So Narad Muni, he instruct him, you are feeling very melancholic because you have not mentioned the, glories, his, the Supreme Personality of Godhead's, form, name. You have not glorified his pastimes, everything. So that is the reason why you are feeling so, depressed and all. So when a conditioned soul, he actually, attaches his mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then obviously because Maya is in his control, then it'll go. The Maya will not, harass this living entity because...
Okay, good. What are I'm inviting more comments from others on what do you think is the significance of the fact that in his meditation, he sees Krishna and he sees that Maya is under his control. What is the significance of the fact that he sees that Ved Vyas sees that? And I'll give you a hint. And tell me what had Ved Vyas been doing.
Can I share?
Who's that? Suruchi? Soni? Who's speaking?
Yeah, Mataji.
Yeah. Go ahead. Tell me. Soni?
Mataji, you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Mataji, he was always giving people in the Vedas knowledge about how to perform Karamkandi activities and be happy. And but guided him that praying to Lord Krishna is the way to eternal happiness.
Yes. Yes.
So he
very good. For some reason, I'm not able to hear Soni. Is this just me, my network, or everybody there?
Yeah, Mataji, even I cannot hear her.
Yeah. Soni, maybe you want to switch off your video?
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, go ahead. Speak up now. I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, much better.
Okay. Yeah, Mataji, like I said that, okay. So the significance of seeing Maya Devi behind Shri Krishna is that is the way to eternal happiness. Maya Devi if you pray to Shri Krishna, then it will give you eternal happiness and not just happiness in the material world.
Yes, you almost there. You've gone one step ahead. So I'm looking for the link that
Okay.
what was the effect of seeing Maya on Vyasdev, and why would it change his style of thinking? And to understand that what was his style of thinking, we have to first understand that what was his thinking before he meditates. What was Vyasdev doing? What did he do before that? What made him go melancholy? What was he doing that he does?
He was writing
He,
Vedas.
Writing.
he was not satisfied, Mataji. He
Yeah.
was not satisfied after writing the Vedas. He was
And what did he
feeling
write in the Vedas?
melancholy.
Yeah, and what did he do in the Vedas?
In the Vedas, he gave people yagyas to perform to be happy in the material world, like
And
Karamkali.
how to improve Artha Kama,
Right.
the four, like moksha, liberation, and all that, the four things,
Yes.
betterment.
Yes. So yeah. So so what he was doing was that he was writing the Vedas, and he knew that people are miserable in this material world, right? So there are three kinds of miseries. What are the three kinds of miseries you can get? Three types.
Birth, old age, disease.
This is
Adi.
Mustafa.
Yeah, Adi Bhautik, Adi Doibik. Mataji, I am forgetting the another one. And I'm sorry, I joined late because I was out.
No problem. No need to give excuse. You quietly join if you're late in the class. Then what? Who can anybody give us the third one?
Adi Bhautika.
Bhautika.
She did that. Adi
Adhyatmik.
Adhyatmik Mataji.
Adhyatmika.
Adhyatmik.
Yeah. So who is responsible? These three. What does this resemble? This figure, this shape. What does it resemble?
Trishul.
Trishul. Trishul. Who carries it
And
in
which?
the hands?
Ma Durga.
Durga.
Yes, Durga has it, right? And who's Durga? Maya, right? So you get these miseries from Maya. That's what she will do, right? In this material world. So you're getting all these kinds of miseries, and it's an arrangement. How much of the Trishul will go into you depends on your karmic reactions. So he's been trying to just tell you that, how you can do this and how you can do that, appease this demigod, that demigod, Maya, like that. And then this is the way to happiness. And he didn't talk about Krishna and purpose, but in his dreams, but in his meditation, when he sees that Maya is under the control of Krishna, that is where the mood will change and the understanding and the style of thinking will change. He's like, oh, that's the wrong person that I have been directing people to. I should be instead directing them to Krishna. Why should I bother about so much for Maya if Maya is under the control of Krishna? I should tell people how they should please Krishna, and that way they will get happiness, right? And then, of course, Maya is controlling the material world, and Krishna is everything, numinous and phenomenal, both. Right? So that's why that change happens. Okay, good. Then what happens in this chapter? The summary. Chapter 7, first canto.
So Ashwathama kills the Pandavas' 5 sons, and then he gets scared and he starts running because Arjuna is chasing him, and he's swiftly catching up to him. So in fear, he releases Brahmastra that he doesn't know how to retrieve. This portion I remember really good.
Okay, good. And then what happens?
Somebody else wants to take it? Otherwise, I'll continue.
Going 1, going 2, and coming back to you, 3. Go ahead.
Okay, so then he is in a lot of fear. So when he released the Brahmastra, Arjun sees the Brahmastra and the light. He doesn't see the Brahmastra, but he sees this amazing light. So he says, oh Krishna, what is this? So Krishna tells him that it is a Brahmastra, and he's released that. And Arjuna is very fearful. Krishna reminds him that, you know how to counteract this, so release that counteracting weapon. And so he releases the counteracting weapon, and then his Krishna is angry, like his eyes are coppery red, that what has he done? And then Krishna asks, he says that Arjun, let's punish him. he deserves punishment, and then I don't remember.
We stop. Yeah, that's where we stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good narration. Just one quick small tweak that the red copper eyes were
Or Arjun.
Krishna's
Yeah.
eyes, right?
Oh, Arjun, sorry.
Yeah,
Arjuna's,
Krishna's eyes are, how were Krishna's eyes in anger?
Lotus.
They were lotus.
Lotus
Yeah.
eye.
Thank you. 200 points for Sonal Bhatt. That's right. And then he binds him up, right? He binds up with a rope like an animal, right? Because he's not behaving like a human being. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just, we'll just read a little bit of the previous three couple of verses so that we know a little bit more of the conversation, and then take the verse for today, which Varshana Mataji says should be 38. So we will do 38 here. So you're able to see this text number 35 here? Can you see?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So Lord Shri Krishna said, "O Arjuna, you should not show mercy by releasing this relative of a Brahmana, for he has killed innocent boys in their sleep. A person who knows the principles of religion does not kill an enemy who is careless, intoxicated, insane, asleep, afraid, or devoid of his chariot. Nor does he kill a boy, a woman, a priest, character, or a parental soul." Okay? And then he said, "A cruel and wretched person who maintains his existence at the cost of others' life deserves to be killed for his own well-being. Otherwise, he'll be down by his own action." And we did that last week, right? So we were talking about, even if you try, if you don't give punishment, laws of material nature are going to come after him in any way. So it's better that, he clears his debts right now. Okay. So that's where we were coming from. And now the text here is text number 38, which is the text for today. And here it says, "Prati shutam cha bhavata panchalyai shinvato mama aharishye shirastasya yaste manini putraha." And now we come to the fun part, which is going through the synonyms here. So let's see what the synonyms are. Prati shrutam, it is promised. Cha, and bhavata, by you. Panchalyai, unto the daughter of king of Panchal. Draupadi. What was the other name of Draupadi that starts with P? Another name of Draupadi that starts with P?
Panchali.
Panchali.
I was just checking. Shrinvata, which was heard, mama, by me personally. Aharishye, must I bring. Shira, the head. Tasya, of him. Yaha, whom. Te, your. Manini, consider. Putraha, the killer of your sons. So if you hear something, what is that called?
Shira.
If you hear
Shrimanta.
Shrinvata, right? We say that famous word, Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya, right? Okay. Shrinvata is, okay. Now, if I say that I must bring something, what will you say that in Sanskrit?
Aharishya.
Aharishye. Aharishye. And if you want somebody to please consider this, what will you say?
Manini.
Manini. Promise something. What is that?
Parishrutam.
Pratishrutam. It is promise. Pratishrutam, right? You've said that to somebody like that. Okay. All right. So let's go. If somebody kills somebody's sons, what is he called?
Putraha.
Putraha. All right. Translation. Furthermore, I have personally heard you promise Draupadi that you would bring forth the head of the killer of her sons. So, small verse. Today will be a small class, no purport. Right? So let's look. What are your thoughts based on what you heard? So what he's saying, I personally heard you promise Draupadi that you would bring forth the head of the killer of her sons, right? And last week, what did he say? That it's better to kill him, right? And who is saying to whom all these things?
Krishna to Arjuna.
To Arjuna.
Krishna is saying that to Arjuna, right? So your thoughts on this?
Mataji, when Ashwathama, he had, slaughtered the sons of Draupadi. So at that time, she was very inconsolable, right? In that context, Arjuna, he promised Draupadi, saying that, I'll get the head of the killer of your sons. So Lord Krishna, he's reminding Arjuna of the fact you had promised the same to your wife. So please adhere to that.
Please remember that, right? Sarvasya chaham hidi sannivishto matasmati jnanam apohanam cha. So he's saying that I lie in everybody's heart and I bring remembrance and forgetfulness. So first he tells him the proper way of dealing with things, right? If somebody has telling the rules, if somebody has killed somebody, then he will be killed, unless it is a war or thing, right? So that's one thing. And the second thing now he's saying is on a personal front, right? He's saying that, by the way, you promised your wife, right? If you promise your wife you're going to the grocery store and you're going to bring apples and you don't bring them home, hell can break loose. You have no idea. I was going to use apples, I was going to use tomatoes, and you didn't bring it, and I tell you and you don't listen, like that. So now he has promised, he's reminding him, like, you know what? You promised your wife that you will bring, what are you going to bring? The head of Ashwathama. And you have not. You have to do it, right? So Krishna is telling him this. So what do you think should be done?
We have to keep your promise.
You have to fulfill your promise, right? Can you give me examples of people who fulfill their promises from the Shastra?
Dashrath Maharaj.
Dashrath Maharaj. And what was the promise?
And that he told KK that whatever he told her that I will fulfill your 3 promises. And when that is why KK told him that your son Rama will go to the forest for 14 years, and my son Bharat will sit on the throne, and his abhishekam will be done.
Right, right. So he's saying that you have given, by the way, you have promised, right? You have promised your wife that I'll going to bring it. So he's just reminding him that you have to keep your promise. Then going back to Ashwathama and how and why, how Ashwathama is behaving, right? So why is Ashwathama angry? He's so angry at the Pandavas.
Because he was a friend of Duryodhan, so he felt that he was wrong, that they're all 100 brothers were killed wrongly, and then the Kauravas' future generation were destroyed. So he wanted to do the same with the Pandavas. So he wanted to kill their offspring.
Okay, so that is one reason. But what would be a bigger reason?
Mataji, he wanted to finish off all the Pandavas,
okay,
so that there is nobody left behind to rule.
Revenge of his father.
Revenge of the father, yeah, revenge. Sweet revenge. Who had killed his father?
Arjun.
No.
No.
We can cycle through all the Pandavas. Paschyetam Pandu Putranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudham Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. You remember this verse from the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita?
Drishtadyumna killed him.
Drishtadyumna killed him, isn't it? He was born. He came out of the yajna for the sole purpose of killing Dronacharya. And he's not Ashwathama's dad, right? And so he's angry. And he's angry. Why? He's angry his dad was killed. And he's also angry that they did not kill him in a straightforward manner, right? How was he killed?
In a cheating way.
What was the cheating done?
So Yudhishthir said, because he never lied. Unless, sorry, Priyanka Mataji, do you want to take it?
Which Mataji?
It's okay, Mataji, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. So Yudhishthir, Krishna suggested that Yudhishthir never lied, so he should say that Ashwathama hato hata naruna kunjara, which means, but he will say the second line very softly. So it means he is saying the truth, but he will yell out the first line.
What does the line mean? You have to tell us.
So sure, yeah. So the first line means that Ashwathama is dead, and then he will slowly say that because there was a name of the elephant that was also Ashwathama, and so Bhim kills him. And so the second line says that not the human, but the elephant.
Okay.
So that was cheating. So Dronacharya becomes very disheartened. So he goes immediately into meditative pose, and that's when Vishnu comes and chops his head off.
Yeah. So that's sufficient to make anybody angry, right?
Yeah.
Right. So now we have to remember Jako Rakhe Saiya Mar Sake Na Koi, right? Rakhe Krishna Mare Krishna Rakhe Ke. So if Krishna is protecting you, then nobody can kill you. And if Krishna wants to kill you, nobody can protect you. So it works both ways, like that. So the Pandavas, of course, you know, where did the whole Narayani Sena of Krishna go? On the other side, right? But only Krishna was on this side. And this whole Bhagavad Gita and the Mahabharata war, you know, one of the main things that you will take out of this Mahabharata aspect of it, of course, there's the Bhagavad Gita inside Mahabharata. That's a totally different thing. But from this Mahabharata, the biggest lesson that we learn is that no matter how smart you are, how talented you are, you know, how skilled you are, but if you are not on the side of the Lord, then eventually you are going to lose. Right? Like Duryodhan took Arjuna by choice, took Krishna, and then Duryodhan was very happy, like, oh, look at that fool, he's asking for Krishna and not taking that big army. After all, it's a war. We need that strength in numbers. I need more number of people, and he's not doing that. So, and in that drama of by which this big lesson is being conveyed to us. In that drama, we have Bhishma Pitama and we also have Dronacharya, right? And both of them have taken this role where people literally spit on them, you know, so to speak, to say that, you know, what were you doing? You were like, you know, tied to the throne of Hastinapur. What kind of a stupid vow that you took over there? You should have this and you should have that. And Dronacharya, just for the sake of money, you were fighting on the side of the Kauravas. You should have known this and you should have known that. But no, by their being on the wrong side, they are playing that role and they are demonstrating, and they agree to be victimized by the general public who's going to come thousands of years later and still criticize them. They are saying that's fine as long. And so that shows that they are related to God in a nice relationship, that I'm willing to do to you whatever you want me to do, as long as you are glorified, my Lord. As long as you become famous, right? From the Mahabharata, we know for sure that wherever there's Yatra Yogeshwar Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Sri Vijaya Bhutir, Dhruva Nitir Matin Mama. This is the last verse of Bhagavad Gita. And he says, Yatra Yogeshwar Krishna, wherever there is Krishna and wherever there is Arjuna, right? His companion and his friend, there you will always get victory. Sanjay is telling that to Dhritarashtra, right? And so
Mataji?
I don't see Priyanka. Oh, here she is. Okay, good. Yeah, you're hiding behind your screen. Yeah, go ahead.
Interrupt.
Yes.
So I just trying to understand. So Krishna's that Chaturangini Sena was given to Duryodhan, and so they are fighting from Duryodhan's side, but they are actually Krishna's army, and they are devoted to Krishna. Yes. So how do we explain that, and what was the result for them and all?
It's a play. When Krishna comes here, he doesn't come all alone. He comes with his entourage, right? When Krishna comes, demigods also come. You know, Vishnu also comes with him. You don't see him like that separately. He comes. So there are people just related to him. They are playing roles and regulations there. Roles and you know, various kinds of items there. So again, it doesn't matter. It's just a play. And so, you know, between Krishna and his supporters, Krishna is still the strongest. Krishna is still the best of the best. We have to remember, right? Even if you're a devotee, don't think that I will ever become Krishna. So Krishna, Narayani Sena is Narayani Sena. They are good, they're skilled, they're everything like that. But where there is Krishna, that is where it is, the strength is there. Because Krishna's strength is, supernatural, like that. So you will understand it like that. And not that the Narayani Sena people did something wrong, right? This is all Krishna's plan. So Krishna is saying, hey, you know what? In my next there, when I'm going to go down to the earth, this is going to happen and you will be there. Fine, we'll do whatever you want us to do, right? And that's the mood of a devotee. Like you remember the pastime of Narada and Krishna, he's trying to find out like who's a devotee, who's the best devotee and things like that. And Uddhav and Krishna, sorry. So he says, okay, go and ask some of the people, tell him that I'm having a severe pain in my head. And tell them that Krishna is saying that only the dust of the feet, if I smear it on my forehead, then my headache will go away, like that. So Uddhav then goes. And he goes to, various exalted people and he says that, I want dust from the lotus feet because Krishna is feeling pain in his head. And he says, just bring the dust. Nobody would give their dust to them. He says, don't you know, this is so wrong. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead and I dare not give the dust of my foot from my feet to be put on his forehead. Like this is, I will go to Kumbhi Pak Narak or whatever is the worst possible hell. I will go to that worst possible hell. He says that. And then he goes to the gopis and says, gopis, can you give the dust from your lotus feet? Krishna says that he wants it because he's having headache. The gopis immediately take some dust and give it to him, like that. So Uddhav is flabbergasted and he says that, aren't you worried that you'll go to hell for doing this? So they say, it doesn't matter. As long as it rids Krishna of the headache, we don't care whether we go to hell or wherever we go, like that. So the mood, as the devotional service becomes purer and purer, the mood of the devotee changes. And this is what means by what we're talking in the morning when we're saying that Krishna, I belong to you. I belong to Krishna. So whatever Krishna wants me to do, I'll do it, right? I mean, like, I saw pictures of Varshana Mataji. She was making masks, she was stitching some masks. I saw Varshana in a different role. So I saw pictures of her on her Facebook page. So she's sitting on a machine. So she will guide the machine, whatever she wants to do. She wants to switch it on, switch it off. She wants to move the wheels, whatever I want. The machine belongs to her. She wants to throw it out of the window. She can throw it out of the window, but she won't, like that, because it belongs to you. So when you belong to somebody, then there is no question of saying that, why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? You ask me for dust, and because of dust, you're going to send me to hell. Okay, I'll go to hell. Like my job is to, do whatever that is there to please you, like that.
Very nice, Mataji. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. So Narayani Sena also, it'll happen like that. Yeah. So that's the biggest lesson that we are supposed to learn from Mahabharata is that, wherever there's Krishna, and Prabhupada gives such a nice example. He says everything is a zero. Everything in this material world is zero because it's nothing. So whether there is 1 lakh of soldiers or 20 lakhs of soldiers or 1 million soldiers or 20 Akshahanis, whatever they brought, it's all zero because it's all material. But if we have all these zeros, right? So I can have a car. I can have a big bungalow. I can have jewelry. I can have clothes, right? I can have a huge hallway, a huge hall. I can have all that, but it's all zero, right? But the moment you put a 1 in front of it, see the magic? What happens when you put a 1 in front of a 0? 10. If you had 2 zeros, you put a 1, 100. 3 zeros, put a 1, 1,000, right? What basically that means is that anything material that you have, if you link it with Krishna, then the value of that is, immeasurable as compared to if you don't link it, then for sure shot, it is just a 0. So if I have a car and I use that car to go here, to go there, to go to movies, to go to the sea beach, to do that, this and that, it's all 0. But if you jump into the same car and throw in some Srimad Bhagavatams and you go out to distribute it, then, it's a totally different thing. Now the car is become transcendental because it's being used in a transcendental activity, right? Bhagavad Gita 4:24 tells you that everything that is used in the process of worshipping Krishna acquires their transcendental nature. So you see how a car which was from a spiritual perspective, from metaphysical perspective, is a zero, becomes, much more than that when you link it with Krishna. So that is the key point that we are learning from Mahabharata. That is what it is. Now, so of course, Krishna had told them to say this lie, right? Because at certain points in time when people are behaving like that, so it can't be that, oh, so this was just the Pandavas and they did this to my father and things like that. They cannot say that because some time ago, right, they had done that. To whom did they do? Going against the rules of the war. What did the Kauravas do? What big rule did they violate?
Abhimanyu, they killed Abhimanyu.
Abhimanyu what? Exactly. They had a small boy, and in the end, he didn't have any weapons. So when you're fighting the war, there are rules of the war. And so the Kshatriyas always took war, and they are of that nature. Right? You have the Varnas and you have the Ashrams. Their consciousness is like that. So they are outgoing, they like to fight. They will kill if needed. And so when the war and all these things happen, they will see the war as it's a game for them. Like, how we get excited watching a cricket game or a football game or a soccer or whatever it's called here. So we get excited at that, and as soon as somebody's throwing the ball, your heart starts beating like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. And if you make a home run or whatever, or sixer or whatever the game is, then you jump on your seat and you're applauding, right? So we are involved in that. So similarly, that kind of a thrill that we get, that kind of thrill a Kshatriya gets by going to war. And you will see sometimes Kshatriya spirits, you will see when you have a son who will insist and say, I want to join the army. And the parents are like, come on, become a software engineer. It's a much better life, right? That's what they think. But anyway, sometimes the life of a software engineer can be worse than living in a trench like that, right? So anyway, by the way, in software development also there are rooms known as war rooms. Has anybody been in a war room? Anybody in the software development here?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, okay. So Garima can tell us what is a war room. Please come on the screen and tell us.
So, Mataji, no windows, nothing. A room we have to sit for 8 hours, and then so many people are there together working on some high priority project which has to be delivered. Lunch is ordered there, breakfast is ordered there, coffee, snacks, whatever people will eat is ordered there only.
Yeah, you're captive, you're thrown in there, and you have to do it because the product has to be released and there are some bugs in the software. So we are on war footing and we have to go and do that. So anyway, so that's the spirit that people have in it. So the wars were there, but then on those times, the wars had certain rules and people followed the rules. For example, you will fight after the sun rises, and you will stop when the sun sets and things like that, right? And we have the famous Jed Vad thing, right? That episode. But anyway, so they used to follow rules and regulations. And one of the rules was that you will fight with your equals. Fighting with equal means that if I am a type of a soldier who sits on a horse and fights, then I will fight with somebody who's also on a horse. Right? I will not sit on a horse, and I will not fight with somebody who fights standing on the ground, because we are not equals. So you will not do that. Right? Similarly, both of them have to be armed. So you're on a horse and I'm also on a horse, and we fight using, swords. Then if I have a sword, that person should also have a sword in his hand. If you don't have a sword in your hand and you're fighting with them, and that's what Arjuna, when he's philosophizing and he's saying that I don't want to fight this war in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he says that nihatya dharta rashtrana. So he says that it's better if they just kill me unarmed, which is like the extremes of what you can do in a war, is to kill somebody who's unarmed. And so that is what was done to Abhimanyu. So sometimes, you have to treat, you have to use an iron to cut iron, right? You cannot use gold to cut iron like that. And of course, it was Krishna's instructions. If Lord himself is coming and giving you instructions, then you follow those instructions there. So they had violated these types of things there, right? So that is why then Krishna had to tell them. And so now Ashwatthama is angry that they have killed. And then of course, after that, on top of that, they lost the war also, right? If the war had been won, then at least they would have something. And then now, as one of you pointed out, his best friend Duryodhan is lying there on the battlefield. His thighs are broken and he's waiting for death to come and take him away. like that. So he feels very bad for his friend on top of all this. So he says, and all the Kauravas are dead. So he says, okay, I'm going to annihilate the Pandava dynasty. So I will go and kill the Pandavas. Now, Krishna, for some reason on that day, and of course we know it's not for some reason, Krishna always does things for a reason. He just says that, Pandavas, you don't go and sleep in your camp, in that tent. You don't go and sleep there. You just sleep on where the war was happening. So this night we'll just spend it over here. You don't go into your tent. You stay here. And because war means that, you're agitated, you're thinking about strategies and things like that. But and so war field, when you go there, you're completely charged, right? And there's such a nice depiction of that again in Bhagavad Gita 1, right? Tatha shankascha bhairyascha paravanak gomukha. He's saying, bugles, trumpets, drums, all of them are blowing. People are singing, and horses are neighing, and elephants are trumping, and all that. So it's a place of a lot of chaos. But then the war is over, so then nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to blow the trumpets, the bugles, anything like that. So he says, let's go and sleep there. Because then if you are able to sleep on a war field, then you really know that the war is over. Like that. So they go there. And now this Ashwathama is very, very angry. And he has got a specially blessed sword. So he enters the camp. And when he enters the camp, he's able to figure it out that, this must be the camp or the tent for somebody who's at a higher position, which we like the commanders and the Pandavas and things like that. So he enters that and he sees 5 beds. So he thinks these are the Pandavas who are sleeping. And he so quickly and so mercilessly kills all 5 of them with this special sword that he had. That the boys who were there, because we all know they were Pandava's sons. The Pandava's sons did not even have a chance to even know what happened. They kind of like, he was sleeping and kitsch, you're gone, like that. And he kills all of them. And so he had come in very stealthily because, he just wanted the kingdom to kill the Pandavas. But then he kills them all. He's so happy. He's thinking that I have met what I wanted to do. And I have won. And, I'm very, very happy. Let's now go. So on his way out, now he's not scared of anybody. He's killed the Pandavas. He knows that, whatever the war was lost or whatever, now he has won it again for his friend and avenged his father. So on his way out, he kills, and then he's making noise. So other people are waking up, and not necessarily they come out and they're all thinking the war is over. So they just come out like, what is this noise about? They are not coming armed. So they don't have arms. They have nothing with which to fight. And then Ashwatthama goes and kills them also, right? And then he also sees Drishtadyumna, who had killed his father. He also attacks Drishtadyumna and kills him also. And after doing all that, he goes to the field to meet with his friend, Duryodhana. So, and Prabhupada says that, no matter what Duryodhana was, whatever he did, whatever wrong he did, you have to remember that he was a Kshatriya. He was a Kshatriya at heart. And so when he tells him that I have killed the Pandavas, they were sleeping, Duryodhana is not happy at all. Duryodhana says that you violated so many rules, right? They were unarmed, they were sleeping, and till this point they don't know that it's not the Pandavas, but it's the sons who have been killed. And so he doesn't like it. He actually turns to Ashwathama and he tells Ashwathama that, what? All the Kauravas were dead and the 5 Pandavas were remaining and you have killed them. So what's going to happen to the Kuru dynasty? The Kuru dynasty, you have annihilated the Kuru dynasty. And so after that, Duryodhana dies like that. So then, cut a long story short, he comes to know that it's not it's Pandavas that he has killed the sons because he sees that the Pandavas are there. And so he then starts running. And we see that narration starting in the 7th chapter. We see that he's running. And then why did he have to stop? Does anybody remember why did he have to stop?
His horses got
tired. They were tired, right? So they stopped. He had to stop. And then now again he's he's cornered and he doesn't know what to do. So what does he do? He just pulls out the Brahmastra, which he only knows how to call, but he doesn't know how to send it back. So he just, retrieves it and he gives it there, right? And then of course Arjuna, and when they know that they have been killed, so Draupadi is lamenting for her sons, right? Everybody is killed, relatives, fathers, grandfathers, all are dead, and now the sons were the only hope, and now this guy has come and killed the sons also. She's lamenting very badly, she's crying very badly. And then Arjuna, who was, you know, her favorite, he says that I'm going to bring the head of the one who is killed. So then he starts to he's starting to change, and at that point he had promised Draupadi that I will bring the head, because it seems like a very logical thing to do from Arjuna's perspective. If you see, right, from Ashwatthama's perspective, he was thinking, you kill my dad, so I'm going to kill somebody in your family. So then Arjuna can extend that logic also. Okay, so you kill my son, so I'm going to kill you also, like that, right? So, and he's angry. You have to understand that he's angry, and his eyes are red like copper. And then he turns to his wife and he promises, and that's a very Kshatriya thing to do, because he tells Draupadi that you can stand, and then, you know, all that kind of stuff, take your shower, you know, these kind of dialogues always happen. Kshatriyas are always talking very high level, very passionate language, which will bring the passion in other people, like, you know, I will drink your blood. They'll think that doesn't mean that they're going to literally drink it like that. So you will see them saying things like that. So we have to look at this. So why is this narration being given to us? What do we have to, you know, learn from this? We are bhaktas, right? We don't like all this blood and these kind of talks. We don't like this. But why this narration has been brought? What is it that we should learn from there, right? So what do you think that we should learn from this whole thing that is happening about our behavior and how we should live our life?
We should not think of revenge all the time, Mother.
We should not think of revenge all the time. But
There'll always be consequences to your actions and words.
there will always be consequences, right?
Should control our anger, Mataji.
You should control our anger. Yeah.
We should not jump to conclusions like Ashwatthama just assumed that those 5 bodies were that of the Pandavas.
Yeah.
So we should not jump to any conclusions before knowing the actual truth.
Right. Very well. Yes, because we know our senses are defective, right?
Yeah.
Senses are defective. So you just looked at the shape and you thought that they are Pandavas, right? So once you look at it, it's a pramana. When you look at it, you know the truth from pramana, from with your senses, we gather that. And then there is anuman. So pramana is not telling you enough because you can't see the faces, right? So there's not enough of pramana there to come to a conclusion who they are. So then you start doing anuman, right? Okay, I'm going to deduce something. I'm going to deduce some knowledge from whatever little I have got. So he deduced the knowledge and he said, oh, they are Pandavas. And your deduction can be wrong. Whatever you're deducing is wrong. You can see in this case had very dire consequences. They got killed.
And Mataji, we should not make any promise when we are angry.
Yes. That's why they always say that you should be vegan. Sama sukha dukham dhiram amritatvaya kalpate. We are reading in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, right? So you should be sama in anger and in
Means balance.
Mataji, to this point of Sutapa Mataji, actually, I remember I attended one of the classes at Bharat school, and they were teaching parents when you're talking to teenagers, and they said the same thing, that when you are angry, just leave the room and don't talk at that time, and leave this discussion for later and get back to it later when you're calm and the teenager is calmed down.
Yes.
So it's, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are consequences, and it's always it's very difficult, very good point that you bring in, Priyanka Mataji, and also applying it to parents here. Subtle is very difficult to control. Gross is a little bit easier to control. And I'll just tell you an example of that that'll make it so clear and so evident, that if I get angry at somebody and I want to chop off their head in anger, like Arjuna wants to do that, right? So I can withdraw a sword from my mane, right? And then decide, oops, then I can put it back, right? But if I say something to somebody, can I put it back in my mouth? The words, when they come out of your mouth, they cannot go inside. They will enter to the ears of somebody else, and then they will reside always in the mind, in his mind. And whenever at the appropriate time, they will be brought into the main consciousness, and then they will trouble him and traumatize him over and over again and again. The subtle is very, very strong, so you have to be very careful about the subtle.
This is, Mataji, this is applicable for actions also, because if some people, they don't say any words, but like you send someone a message and they are not replying or they are not taking your call, so that means it's action. So next time when, if you're going to call them or send them, though their action will remain there, so you will remember and you will be hesitant to do that.
Yes. So sometimes inaction has a more profound effect than action, right? So somebody wrote something nasty to you, and you can write 6 nasty things, and you can have a nice verbal match going back and forth like that till ad infinitum. You can keep on going there. Or somebody says something nasty to you, and you just keep quiet. It doesn't mean that because you didn't send a message to the person that person has not got your message. You send the message to the person already through your silence. And that's what I'm saying. The more subtle you go, the more effect it has. That is why we say that if somebody's saying something nasty to you, don't respond. Just be silent. Have you noticed sometimes, like the kids will be naughty, and the mom can keep on saying something to them, and they will continue to do that. Like, hey, Ramu, don't do it. And I'm still doing. Don't do it, still doing it, right? Or the mom can just come there and look at them and not say anything. Like that, right? And then the child is like, oh my goodness. Because they're more used to the mom saying something, and they know how to retaliate, but they don't know how to handle silence. Silence is very, very powerful in our being. And one of the things, and like we were talking about, don't be impetuous in your actions, and you all had kind of pointed out, but in subtle ways, that you have to be careful about what you're speaking and things like that. I mean, Arjuna, you can imagine how much of emotions is there. His grandfather is lying on the battlefield. His cousins whom he loved are dead, right? So many people are dead on the battlefield, right? And now his sons are also dead. And this guy releases a Brahmastra on top of that. And he knows, like that, right? So his feelings are very natural for a normal, ordinary human being. And for us to go and give a tit for tat is very, very normal and a very, very expected behavior, so to speak. But the thing is that we have to be very careful about punishing anyone, right? So here you see Arjuna's mood. Arjuna is the best of the Pandavas, right? Krishna says that, right? Does he say that in the Bhagavad Gita?
Yes, Mataji, he says so in chapter 10.
Chapter 10, which we are doing on Saturdays, right? Which we'll do
Yeah.
tomorrow again. So he says, among the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. So he's the best. So everybody knows that Arjuna is the best. So if you are the best, and this is how, subtle pride can seek into it. That you are among 5 brothers, and some decision has to be made. I mean, you ask the elder brother, and he gives you a decision, which is the same as what you were thinking, because you are as smart as he is, right? And so this happens 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. And the 10th time when the decision has to be made, you're like, oh, you know what? I don't think I need to ask him, because I can do it on my own. In any case, he's going to tell the same thing that I'm thinking. Then slowly, 10th time, you don't ask, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Slowly, you get out of the habit of ever consulting your elder brother like that. Okay. Or I just give an example of elder brother. It could be anybody. It could be your spiritual master. It could be your parents, your spouse, whatever. Anybody in an authoritative position, you don't ask them. And then, of course, down the line, you will blunder, right? Because you don't have experience of everything. And you have not seen all the circumstances. And sometimes you require some wise old men to guide you in those places like that. So Arjuna is in that particular mood. And see how Krishna is testing him. not only did he say last week or in the last verse, he said, he's telling him the righteous way, hey, you know what, if you open up the Manu Samhita and find out, what happens to a person who killed somebody while they were sleeping, and they did, didn't have the weapons on them, and it was night, right? It was not during the day. I did all that, right? So many checks, one warning, two warning, three, that strikes, one strikes, two strikes, three strikes. He's getting so many strikes. Ashthama is getting so many strikes there. And so, he's telling him that, yeah, you refer to that, and this is what it is. Now, he knows that Arjuna can go around all these kinds of scriptures because he did that in chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna knows it. So Krishna is also now, from his other angle, he's saying, from his emotional side, from his relationship side, he's saying, you remember your favorite wife? He killed his 5 sons. Right? And we will see in that verses which are coming further that what does Arjuna do? And how does he come to a conclusion on how he's going to act? And that is what we are supposed to learn from this particular chapter. Right? And if you look at Arjuna's behavior and Ashwatthama's behavior, which we have contrasted, right? So when Ashwatthama gets conquered, and as you said, that his horses were thirsty, so he was conquered, but he was cornered, and so what does he do? He releases a Brahmastra. And now this Brahmastra is so hot, right? And it is blazing effulgence, and Arjuna doesn't know. And what does he do? Krishna, Krishna Mahabaho, right? We did that verse. And then what does he do? He first starts reciting prayers to Krishna. He's not even like, hey Krishna, let's come to the point. Do you see this is emergency? No protocol, no nothing, no namaste, no nothing. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. No, let's cut the chase here. Hi Krishna, this is what it is. 1 bullet, 2 bullet, 3 bullet. He doesn't do that. That's not the way we behave with God. We have to invest our time in Krishna. So he praying to Krishna. He prays for 3-4 verses, and then he says, I don't know what this is, like that. The point. That is also that. So his mood is that whenever he's faced with something, he goes to Krishna. Something dire like this, something which is like how contrasting this can be. Because you remember we had also talked about that he is a Brahman Bandhu. He's the son of a Brahmana. So you also have to consult the Manusmriti once again to see how to handle Brahmanas in that case. So it's a super complicated state that he is in. And we will see next week, Krishna willing, what we're going to do. Right? Any reflections, any last minute questions? It will take for a few minutes.
So Mataji, that the question you asked, what we are learning. So I learned, like, if Krishna is there, then also material problems will come. Like Krishna was there with Pandavas, but still so many material problems came with them.
Yes. And so what should a devotee think?
For his own betterment.
Yeah. Tatenukampam sushamekshamam vipakam. Right? So I deserve verse, but you have given this. So
And also, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, and also the example of a kitten that just keeps coming back to my mind is that a non-devotee suffers too.
Ooh,
A devotee
your voice is breaking.
suffers too. Like a cat. Can you hear me a little better now?
Yes, a little bit. I think it's a ear.
Yeah. Oh, so then the kitten in the mouth of a cat is protected, but a rat is scared for his life. So a devotee feels like, oh, okay, no problem. I'm protected by Krishna. The sufferings are coming. It's all right.
Very good. And can somebody give us an example from the Shastras of, of example where the devotee just thought that, oh, Krishna will protect us, and they did something which is very dangerous?
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj, okay. And what dangerous thing did he do? Where he thought that, okay, I'm going to do this, and Krishna.
He challenged his father that there is Krishna everywhere.
Yes, and his father is none other than
Hiranyakashipu, the demon.
The demon, and we have heard so many times that if he just raises his eyebrows, the demigods will go hide behind the bushes, like that, right? He was so powerful. Any other examples of people thought that, okay, Krishna will take care of it, let's still go ahead? There were many.
Jada Bharat, like he was the dacoits kidnapped him to give him as an offering to Kali, but instead, because he was a devotee of Krishna, so Kali Mata came and she killed all of them, and he was protected, and he was not even worried. He was like, "Oh, if it's written for me to be sacrificed to Kali, it's okay." But then Krishna, with an agency as a Kali Mata, protected.
Right. So Jad Bharat was in a neutral position, right? So he was like, okay, I won't resist, I won't do this, they are going to kill me, that's fine. But on his own, Jad Bharat didn't do anything, right? He got caught. So he was more like a passive. He was in a passive mode. People came and caught him, right? Then people went and, wanted to sacrifice him like that. So he's more in the receiving end of it. And so I was asking about, tell me of a story.
Draupadi.
Okay.
Draupadi.
What did Draupadi do on her own?
So Draupadi was trying to hold on to the sari. First, she was looking at all the assembly members, her husbands, but nobody was protecting her. In the end, she thought with her power, she could hold on to the sari. But then she realized that he was a warrior, the Shasan, and she is no match in strength. Then she raised her hands in full surrender. And that's when Krishna came running to rescue her.
Right. So also in this case, Draupadi on her own did not go and do anything wrong, right? Dusashan was pulling her clothes, right?
Okay, I see your point.
Mataji, Gopalas.
Aghasur Leela, Mataji.
Yes, very good for 1,000 points.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Because I remember the cowherd boys, they were like going into the mouth of the Aghasur, and they were like, okay, let's just go on. Krishna is there. He will protect us no matter what. We just move on.
Somebody said it's a cave. Somebody says demigod.
Yeah.
Somebody said it's a snake. They deliberated, and then despite all that deliberation, they said, Krishna's going to take care of us.
Krishna's going to take care of us, yes.
Yeah. That was, that's the extremes of, faith in Krishna. You walk into a mountain. That is some faith, right? Imagine you doing it. Imagine a snake outside your room. To go inside the mouth of the snake, thinking, oh, Krishna, you're going to protect us. So those are like real exalted devotees of the Lord.
Exactly.
Right? And of course, all the other examples that you gave are not any smaller examples, right? They are showing, for a lady to throw up her hands when her clothes are being pulled out is extremes of surrender, right? Again, for Prahlad Maharaj to take on his dad is also extremes of Krishna. And, like that. And remember, he's a small child. If your father scolds the small child, the child will usually agree with the dad, right? For the fear of punishment. But he's not saying that at all. What did you learn? The best is Vishnu. Do you think your God is everywhere? He's in this pillar. Yes, he is. So he gives answers like that. Yeah. Any other reflection? Last one. I'll take one more.
Mataji, that you said zero. We are zero. And if Krishna is there, then only one, it becomes 10, 100.
That's true, yeah. So we should always engage our things in the service of Krishna. Thank you. Okay.
Like one more point means how skilled or how intelligent you are. If you are not, Krishna is means if Krishna is not your side, then there won't be any victory.
Yes. Krishna has to be on your side. And also, somebody had said, I really liked it, that problems will still come in the life of a devotee, right? So and that is why we encourage you to read the Srimad Bhagavatam. Is that you read examples. You read stories, and then it is easier for us to understand and comprehend whatever they are trying to tell. It gets into our brain much easier when we tell them that. And we tell them about the positive or negative injunctions. For example, if I tell you that don't be greedy, okay? I'll tell you don't be greedy, and I tell you many other things that you should not do. You'll have a list. And if I ask you tomorrow from the list of 10, I say, okay, tell me what that list is. You might remember 5 or 6. This goes out of the memory. All these, list kind of things are difficult to commit to memory. And what was it? Was it greed? What did she say? She said greed, or did she say pride? What was it that you were saying like that, right? But if I try to narrate that same information to you in the form of a story, and I'll say, once upon a time, there was a dog, and he was very hungry. He was going from one street to another street, one street to another street. And finally, somebody threw a bone. He was very happy. He took the bone, started running away to a quiet corner to have the bone. And on the way, he had to cross the bridge. The bridge was over a river. And as he was crossing the bridge, he looked down below. And guess what did he see in the water? He saw there was another dog. And that dog had a bone. So he wanted that dog's bone. So he said, "Bow, bow." And in the process of opening his mouth, his bone fell into the water. Now that tells you why you should not be greedy. So if I tell you a story like that, then it stays in your memory that greed is bad. So that is what Srimad Bhagavatam does to us on higher topics and, higher things and how do you handle life. And if you don't bring in Krishna, what happens to you, Mr. Ashwatthama? Or if you bring in Krishna, then what happens to Arjuna or, Kunti, like that. So, and then also when bad things happen to a devotee's life, for example, Chitragupta, who was a devotee of the Lord, he gets cursed by Parvati to become a demon. Can you imagine? Like, somebody comes and curses you and says, you're going to become a demon. And what sort of a demon? He was Vritasura, most terrifying, horrible kind of demon, like that. And, but he takes the curse nicely. So similarly, when, we get these kind of things happening in our life, we have to just reflect back and go back and connect and say, okay, those kind of things happened to Chitragupta. He handled it with magnanimity and equanimity. I should also do that. That should be my mood in which I serve anything and everything in my life, like that. Right? So, yeah. Asadhu sadhuta dain ati nich uchyuta kara. Hana munja kadachin mam premna hrit kantayo spira. Right? So, Srimad Bhagavatam, you have the power to raise, to convert unsaintly into saintly people. And so if you don't know who you are, whether you're saintly or unsaintly, you can check out the Vigyapti Panchaka prayers that you do in the morning. They gave us such a nice painting of an unsaintly person. And so no matter how saintly we are, our mood should always be that we are unsaintly. And with that mood, we should approach the Srimad Bhagavatam and say that, okay, sadhu sadhu padain ati nich uchyata kara. I am niche, but I have faith that you will raise me to a higher platform. I have got I'm unsaintly, but you will make me into a saintly. And then the prayer is that, I should always glorify you. Come and sit in my throat, come and sit in my heart so that I can glorify you. And why do we want to glorify? Because Krishna says that the person who glorifies me is most dear to me. So our job should be always like, how can I go and spread this literature? How can I preserve the Vedas? How can I, bring people to Krishna consciousness? That is what our mood should always be. And then no matter what happens, no matter whatever is going on outside in the world, people are losing money, people are losing this and that. Your focus will always be, how do I, bring all these grieving people to a higher level of consciousness, so that then they are above that kind of grief that you have, right? I mean, I remember once that we were teenagers, and maybe I was not, and my elder sister was, but anyway, that's not the point. But we were in general in that mood, and she can relate and she'll remember that there was a girl it was her friend because I was not yet in that age to enjoy clothes and all that. I was a tomboy age, but they had become older, so they liked clothes and all that kind of stuff. So one of her friends was talking to her, and I was listening. So that girl comes and tells my sister that, you know what, a big tragedy happened to me. Then Vidyavati asking her what happened. I gave a kurta to my tailor to stitch, and he didn't stitch it properly. So for her, this was a tragedy in her world. This is a tragedy. So you see, it's the level at which you are, right? It's a level. And that's Prabhupada is saying, you raise yourself to a higher level. Don't have compassion for the dress of a drowning man. That's what he says in Bhagavad Gita, right? Your compassions are all misplaced. Don't go for the real thing. Try to protect the real. And the real is the soul. Try to protect the soul like that. Okay? So make that your motto. We will meet again tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for our Bhakti Vriksh on the same channels, Facebook and Zoom.
Mataji, I wanted to say that we are actually zero without Krishna.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
From today's conversation, you see, all incidents is come to the conclusion that
Yeah.
we cannot do anything without him.
Yes, and you have Shastric evidence also. We're in 18th chapter
Yes.
of stage. So there are 5 factors to an action, and the 5th is the super soul. You can do everything. Right? You can do everything. You can flex your muscles. You can use your money. You can use your power. You can use all your assets to do something, but you will not get the results till the upadrashta, anumanta, right inside your heart. It gives you the permission for that to happen. What do you say, Sutapa Mataji? What is your resolve about handling the stresses in life?
It's good, Mataji. I'm doing good.
You feel good? Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
We have to constantly keep on reminding ourselves, because the mind, when distresses come in our life, our mind will constantly go into a spin, right? And trying to bring up whatever we did in the previous times, right? When we were faced with such a situation.
Mataji, I have a small question. Means like it was, the question is from the last class, Bhagavatam. I heard the recording and it's like crime and punishment. So sometimes we do that unintentionally killing. So Mataji, sometimes we need to kill some weeds like the poison ivy and something, but they have also that, means that is also not permitted, right?
No, you have to. You have to. You have to remove the weeds. You have to remove the weeds. So then again, you have to see the intention, right? Also remember that when there are plants have got souls, but then the consciousness of a soul is different. So lots of souls will become plants. As you can see, there are so many plants in this world, so you can see how many fallen souls are there, right? So, but why a person becomes a plant, there are so many reasons for a person to become a plant. One of them is that, they're lazy, they want to sleep, they don't want to do any work, so they also become plants. But it's not necessarily that they are really bad and, inside, totally gone like that. So they will become a plant, but they can become a rose plant, and a person can, fragrant rose plant, and they give roses, and some person plucks the rose and offers it to Krishna. The same plant. And then there are poisonous plants, there are poisonous insects. They will come and try to devour a tulsi. But tulsi is a devotee. So if you are killing some weeds that are surrounding the tulsi like that, then it's fine, to do that. So you have to do it. But wherever possible, you should avoid it. You should avoid. Like, for example, if you see a spider in your sink, you can say, "Woo!" and then you pour water and flush it down the sink. That's one option that is there. Second option is that be a little bit courageous and see, like, I am 5 feet 6 inches tall. What does a little tiny spider can do to me? You take off a paper towel and just kind of encourage it to climb on your paper towel, then go and put it somewhere outside in the garden where it really belongs. Right? So you should try our best not to kill, right? But sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to, like that.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Yeah. And then again, remember that there are so many wrong things that we do, knowingly or unknowingly, we will do. I mean, how much can you take care of? Ahastani cha hastani, apadani chatuspadam, palguni tatra mahatam, jivo jivasya jivanam. This is the law of material nature, that one is the food for another. In our case, well, it's not exactly the food, but still we ingest, right? We ingest so many insects when we are eating, so many bacteria, so many, they're all souls which are inside this body. So if you look at it in so many ways, we also resemble the universal form of the Lord, because there are so many living beings in this body itself right now. They are there. But again, the consciousness with which you are doing. Yes, we understand that there is a soul in everybody, and then, but the soul is in a different body. So if there's a lion, you won't just go and start petting a lion, say, okay, here, have some prasadam. You won't do that. Right? So you have your self-preservation has also got to be there.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so we will meet again tomorrow at 6:00 p.m. And thank you for those who are joining us here on Facebook, which means Shraddha-devi Dasi is there, still with us, and Sunita Datta is watching us from Chicago, and Rita Berry Mataji is watching us from Modesto. Thank you so much, Rita Mataji. She's a fantastic reciter of Bhagavad Gita verses. She's very good, both she and her husband. And some of her friends are fantastic. Modesto is full of devotees of the Lord. And here we have Facebook, led by Patel Prabhu, Veer Madhvi Mataji as well. And thank you so much for my Zoom participants. It's good to see that all of you have got your videos open, which is nice. Then I can see you all.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Thank-
Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Shraddha
Mataji.
for the divine
Yeah, have a
Hare
fantastic.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Mataji.
Mataji.
Yeah, tell me. Were you saying something?
Yeah, ati neech uchta kara ana munja kadachin mam. This is which verse, Mataji?
It is from, I will send that to you. I will hang it. Just give me some time because I'm so busy over the weekend for a few days.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mataji, I have a sincere request and a question also. Mataji, we do japa session on Tuesdays. So is it possible that we can do it on Fridays as well during the Bhagavatam class?
I will leave it up to you.
Mataji, I would love to, Mataji. It is so blissful and it's so peaceful, Mataji.
I have to ask others.
Okay, sure.
You all can decide on the WhatsApp group. How about that, right? We have a
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
how can I say no to japa, we can decide to do it in the end also. If others are hard pressed for time, we can just speak for 45 minutes and then finish with the thing and then do 50 minutes of japa. We can do that also.
Yeah, like today it was small verse, so that time we can do, like today's was a small, no? So
yeah.
But it's okay, Mataji, yeah.
Yeah. So whenever we have an opportunity, we can chant together. But I would just maybe let's keep it towards the end. Anyway, you guys decide. Doesn't matter.
And Mataji, one more request that you were mentioning the other day. Maybe you will discuss about the consciousness. So
yes,
if it is possible.
Let me file my taxes first.
Give it to Prabhuji.
Huh?
Yes. Thank you so much, Mataji, for a wonderful class. Thank you.
Thank you for your wonderful reflections and comments and questions, etc., etc., etc.
Thank you so much, Shraddha. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat pranam, Mataji.
Yes, Dandavat. Have a nice day. So good to see you all. Please come again tomorrow if possible. Hari